Hey everyone, and welcome back to another deep dive. Today we're tackling a topic that really touches everyone at some point. Failure. Not just, business failure or work stuff, but those times when life just knocks you down, things fall apart, and you're left wondering, what just happened? We want to explore how these setbacks, as painful as they are, can actually be, powerful catalysts for growth, for resilience, and maybe even for finding some deeper meaning. Our source material today is a really interesting mix. We've got excerpts from a book, The Container of Wealth, Lessons from Failure, which has this core concept about capacity. But it's also paired with this very raw personal story from someone who really hit rock bottom after some major business failures, found this book, and it completely shifted their perspective. Plus, we'll look at some, famous examples, people we all know who faced huge challenges.
That's right. And our mission really is to unpack the insights here. We want to understand maybe why people fail, those patterns we fall into, like blaming others.
Oh, yeah.
And really dig into this idea of understanding our own capacity, our container, as the book calls it. How that's key to, sustainable growth and finding meaning even when things go wrong.
Exactly. Because, the book title has wealth in it, and the story involves business. But this is bigger than that, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's about how we handle adversity, how we understand ourselves under pressure. That's universal. Career, creative projects, life stuff. It all applies.
Well, let's jump into that core idea from The Container of Wealth, the one that hit the narrator so hard. It's presented quite simply. You only make money, or maybe more broadly, sustain any kind of success that's proportional to the size of your container.
Okay.
And the narrator's own story really brings this to life. They talk about being 25, earning this huge amount, 30 million won a month from a business.
Wow.
Felt like they'd made it. Right. Understandably. But then, over the next few years, multiple ventures. Everything just collapsed. By 29, nothing left. And the realization, reading the book during that really low point, was harsh. It was that despite that peak, their actual container, their inner capacity, their knowledge, discipline, readiness to handle that scale was probably only built for maybe 3 or 4 million won a month back then.
That's such a powerful distinction, isn't it? In mistaking that temporary high, that maybe luck or circumstance, for your actual sustainable capacity.
Exactly.
It's like winning the lottery, but only having the mindset or skills to manage your regular paycheck.
Yeah.
The extra just disappears or gets misused.
Precisely. You don't have the internal structures or maybe even the external ones to hold it, to manage it effectively. The initial success might have been timing, a trend, early luck, but keeping it going, that takes a different kind of strength. A bigger container, built on fundamentals the narrator realized they just didn't have at that age.
Okay, so you've had this collapse. Everything's gone. What's the gut reaction? The narrator's very honest, blaming others. My first partner betrayed me. My second partner betrayed me. That's so common, right? Pointing the finger.
It really is. And the book points out this isn't some unique flaw. It's a very human response, especially when you're hurting, feeling like a victim.
Yeah.
Your brain's scrambling, trying to make sense of it. Why not on both sides? It must be them. It's almost a defense mechanism.
Right.
But the book pushed the narrator towards something else, inspired by that character in Old Boy Odesu, who writes his life story to understand.
Oh, wow. Intense.
Yeah. So the narrator did this, went back, wrote everything down, especially leading up to the failures, and the discovery was, profound and probably really tough to face. Looking back, honestly, they saw the root causes weren't really the partners or bad luck. They were their own decisions, their own rationalizations, like, this much is okay. The small compromises, the things they overlooked in themselves, may be justified because everyone else does it.
That makes so much sense. It's easy to blame the big blow up, the partner leaving. But it's the little choices beforehand. Like their jaywalking analogy, everyone might do it. But if you get hit by the bus, you can't blame the crowd. Your choice to step out. That was key for your outcome.
Exactly right. Those tiny rationalizations, ignoring little red flags, they weaken the container over time. You don't see the cracks until, boom, it all gives way.
And speaking of weaknesses, the source links these failures directly to arrogance. Specifically, what the narrator calls the winner's curse.
Yes, this is critical. That first taste of success, the first hit business, the book that takes off, sudden online fame, it can be so misleading. It can make you feel invincible, like you're above the rules, or that it was all down to your genius, not maybe luck or timing. And that arrogance, it leads to taking massive, uncalculated risks.
And the narrator felt this. They mentioned earning good money at one point, like 100 million won annually after taxes and splits, but not saving or managing it well.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the arrogance talking that I'm a creator, I just do the creative part, someone else handles the boring stuff?
Absolutely. That's a classic example. I only need to be good at this one thing. It ignores that success, especially sustainable success, is holistic.
Right.
You need the whole container: financial literacy, strategy, management, not just the core talent. The winner's curse blinds you to that.
And now their perspective is different, valuing stability.
Completely. They now see the value in something like a stable 100 million won salary over those crazy peaks that ended in crashes. Sustainability is the real strength.
That brings us to the idea that the container isn't just about money, is it? It's about the total value you can handle. The narrator compared a high salary versus high business profit.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. A company gets you more than just pay. Think of a developer at Apple or Google.
Mm-hmm.
They carry the company's credibility, its brand.
Right.
Part of their credibility container is built by the institution. But if you're self-employed, you don't have that built-in backing. So sometimes there's pressure to show success, outwardly fancy car, whatever, just to project that credibility.
Whereas the Google employee gets it just by wearing the t-shirt, almost.
Kind of, yeah. It highlights that the container isn't just a bank account. It's your knowledge, your discipline, humility, ability to learn, your network, resilience, everything that lets you not just get success, but handle it, grow it, and keep it.
Okay, so it's this whole package deal, your overall capacity.
Exactly, a holistic capacity. And once the narrator grasped their container was smaller and saw the internal reasons for the failures, the book offered a path forward. Patience, steady, gradual growth.
Which really goes against the grain sometimes, doesn't it? The whole go big or go home, rapid scaling mindset.
It does. But the narrator's current approach, shaped by the book, is incremental, going from 100 million to maybe 120, then building from there, step by step. Not trying to leap to billions.
Because that can break the container.
Precisely. The book apparently uses the example of its protagonist expanding a cream rice ball shop too fast. They scaled before the systems, the management capacity, the container was ready, and it cracked. The narrator reflects if they could do it over, they'd solidify the base first. Maybe just 2 really strong stores, perfect the processes, build the systems, and only then, after really proving it works sustainably, consider expanding. It's about patience.
Delayed gratification. That takes discipline.
It does.
Though the narrator does mention other ideas exist, like the 10x rule, aiming for massive growth.
Right, and the source acknowledges the right approach might depend on where you are in life. If you're starting really low, maybe you need that initial burst, that hit and run period, as they call it.
Like intense learning, skill building.
Exactly, filling the container rapidly before maybe settling into a more sustainable pace later on.
And there's that mention of time urgency too, right? The narrator feeling at 37, there's maybe the 10-year window for big life grade, changes before it gets harder after, say, 52.
Yeah, citing the Celltran founder as, maybe an exception, proving the rule about late career mega success. So patience is key, but maybe there are seasons for different types of growth.
This whole journey then, the failure, the blame, the hard self-reflection, thanks to the book, understanding the container, choosing patient growth.
Yeah.
It feels like more than just business recovery. It feels like finding meaning.
I think that's exactly it. It's framed as this deep personal development process. The source really emphasizes that hitting rock bottom, as awful as it feels, can have wings. It forces you to see reality, to see your actual capacity in a way success never does.
Yeah.
And that can propel you towards real self-awareness, a fundamental shift. For the narrator, that last big failure, however painful, seems to have been the catalyst for genuine, lasting change and understanding.
And you see that pattern in the famous examples too, Elon Musk.
Yeah.
People forget the struggles.
Oh, absolutely. 2008 was brutal for him. Tesla nearly bankrupt. SpaceX failing rocket launches one after another. He put his last dime into that 4th launch. His story isn't just ambition. It's relentless learning from failure, adapting, pushing his own container of knowledge, leadership, resilience, just constantly expanding it.
And J.K. Rowling. Single mom, depression, rejected 12 times.
An incredible story of perseverance. It wasn't just about writing better. It was about building that inner container of determination, belief, the quiet strength to keep going when everything says stop. That takes immense capacity.
Then Howard Schultz, Starbucks.
Yeah.
Hundreds of funding rejections.
Right. His success wasn't overnight magic. It needed this huge container of belief, patience to build it brick by brick, learning constantly. That's growing capacity through persistence.
So these stories, they really underline the book's message, don't they? Success isn't just talent or luck.
Not sustainable success, no. It's built. It comes from knowing your limits, avoiding that winner's curse arrogance, truly learning from failures instead of blaming, and just consistently, patiently working to expand your capacity, your container. These figures didn't just bounce back, they were transformed by their struggles. The failures were essential steps in growing their container.
Which brings us back to the narrator's final takeaway. Finding that book, The Container of Wealth, at their lowest point. That your current situation, your current earnings or achievements, they really do reflect your current container. And the way forward isn't magic or blame. It's looking inward. Self-reflection, learning, consistent effort to grow that capacity.
Yeah, and for the narrator, that shift was huge. It took away the victim feeling and gave them a clear path, actual confidence, because it's about building something real inside, step by step.
So, wrapping up our deep dive today, some key things really stand out from this source material. Failure often starts internally, with our own blind spots and rationalizations, not just external events.
Right.
Understanding and consciously building your personal container, your holistic capacity, is vital for any kind of sustainable growth.
Absolutely.
And maybe patience and steady, consistent effort to grow that container are more valuable in the long run than chasing those quick, risky wins.
Definitely seems to be the core message. And the source strongly recommends the book, The Container of Wealth, for anyone grappling with these ideas. Simple lessons, but profound.
Well, thanks for diving deep with us today. It really feels like failure, while tough, holds these incredible seeds for growth and finding a path with more meaning if we approach it right.
It really does. And maybe a final thought for everyone listening. Think about a recent challenge or setback you faced, big or small. What might it be telling you about the size or maybe the shape of your own container right now? And what's one small, consistent step you could take starting today to learn from it, strengthen that inner capacity, and get ready for whatever's next?